What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are live. Good morning and welcome to the live podcast. Don't wait to be great. I am your host, Mr. Derek Forston, and we're super excited, just like we are every Saturday, guys, because in this room, we always talk about the shared housing model. So if you're a real estate investor or if you're somebody that always thought about starting your own housing program for elderly adults, military veterans, or teenagers aging out of the foster care system, or even women that have been escaping domestic violence, you are in the right place. And thank y'all so much for being here. You guys have a lot of choices, right? Where you could be on these social media streets, but you chose to be here with Forster Consultants and the Don't Wait to Be Great podcast. So I want to just introduce myself real fast, and we're going to jump in and get the room started because today's topic is the best real estate strategy is shared housing, unlocking wealth and changing lives. And we're going to dive deeply into the shared housing revolution. And we're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, and we're also live on Twitter. So whichever one of those you get down with, guys, we would super appreciate that. If you're on Clubhouse, welcome. But we encourage everybody to come on over to YouTube so that way you can see our beautiful smiling faces. So again, I'm Derek Forston, the owner and operator of Second Chance Housing. And that's my personal independent living facility. And that's where we take people from homeless to hopeful. And guys, we do that without owning the property. We do that without any license. And we do that without having to be a nurse or doctor or having any kind of education. So this is the best model in terms of the route to get into real estate. Guys, in our eyes, there is no model better than the shared housing model. So again, if you are involved in real estate or you want to be involved in real estate, we believe that this is one of the best strategies because again, it doesn't really cost you. It's a little bit different from going and buying a house, right? This model, you can literally lease or rent a house, and then we build relationships with social workers and case managers, which is our funnel system, and that's how we make this all work. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. We encourage to bring lots of questions. I'm also excited about our Black Friday sale that goes all the way through tomorrow. And again, guys, our Black Friday sale is 80% off of our HRA Business in a Box. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, and it's also 80% off of our one-on-one coaching, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, which a lot of people come to us for. So that's an absolute no-brainer if you haven't been around our one-on-one coaching or the shared housing model when it comes to teaching you guys how we do this. So I'm gonna let my beautiful wife Shay introduce herself, and guys, we're gonna jump right into today's topic. Miss Shay.
Good morning, everybody. I am Shays Story, the president and founder of the Angela Denise Foundation, located here in Orlando, Florida, where we take women that were once homeless to hopeful, utilizing the ILF shared living model. I'm excited to be here and to share the stage with my amazing husband this Saturday morning. I'm about to send some other links so we can get some of our other some of our other Clubhouse moderators on over here if they are dressed and looking appropriate and want to come on live with us so that they can share in this experience. We want to welcome you from Facebook to YouTube and Twitter to our amazing space here, Club Don't Wait to Be Great, Forston Consultants, where we talk all things shared housing and how you can make a significant change in your community by being a placement for someone that needs your assistance and your help. So again, I am excited to be here this morning. I look forward to speaking to all of you, answering your questions. So go ahead, if you are on Clubhouse, go ahead and drop some questions in the chat. If you are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, you can do the same. We'll get all of that information and we'll be able to answer your questions. Come on over. I am excited to meet and see you all on this amazing, beautiful Saturday morning. Derek, let's get it started.
Let's do it. So again, guys, thank y'all so much for being here. And let's just jump right into it. So again, today's topic is unlocking wealth and changing lives at the same time. So many of you guys know my story, but I never take it for granted that people just know who we are and what we do. So I always take usually 3 or 4 minutes to kind of welcome everybody and also explain how all of this got started. So again, guys, many years ago, I was a poor social worker, barely making ends meet, right? And I always wanted to help people. That's why I became a social worker. And I always wanted to be involved in real estate some kind of way. I just didn't know that God was going to kind of combine the two together. So everything that you're going to hear us talk about today, guys, is literally us combining social services and real estate together. So I got 2 goals today, guys. I want to teach you all a lot of stuff, and I want you guys to hold us to that. And then my other goal is I want to offer you guys an opportunity to kind of work with us so that we can actually kind of hold your hand during this whole process. But again, welcome to all of my people also in the Twitter space. We're simulcasting, guys. So we appreciate everybody that's here. But guys, many years ago, I was a social worker. And again, wanting to be involved in real estate and helping people. God was genius enough to combine those two together. And that's kind of what started all of this. So I was a social worker and I saw some really bad stuff, guys. And that's when it came to housing people. Um, Here I am praying and asking God to kind of get me in the game, right? And God literally showed me people that was doing this. And you guys have heard me give that example a lot of times where I saw somebody doing this particular model, right? She had a shared housing model. The difference between her and I, and a lot of you all that will teach this to, she did this housing people in rats and roaches. So we was like, wow, like you housing people in rats and roaches. And to make a long story short, guys, she showed me what she was being paid doing this. So, guys, as a social worker, I was making $28,000 a year. God showed me somebody that was making $41,000 a month doing this model that I'm getting ready to share with you all today. But the sad part, guys, she was doing it in rats and roaches, right? The conditions in which she was housing these people, again, was in rats and roaches. And when I saw this, it blew my mind. And my first goal was, man, how can I get into this? And how can we change the way people are being viewed? And how can we change the way they live it? So, guys, I'm real good at telling people that I'm no genius. I barely graduated high school, and my wife tricked me to go to college. And through the grace of God, I finished that, right? And guys, I finished with this degree called human services, which is very similar to social work. So I got a job at a mental health hospital, and that's kind of where I saw all of the vision at, right? Working in that mental health hospital, usually 5 to 6 days a week. And again, like the dream started to come to me. And when I saw this lady that she was doing this, because nobody wanted to teach this model to me, right? I begged people to teach me what this was, but nobody wanted to show me how to do it. So to make a long story short, I went through the bumps, the bruises. Guys, I've been sued multiple times. I've been on the Channel 8 news. Like, guys, I've ruined this thing as many times as you can do it, right? I've done this the wrong way because remember, nobody taught this to us. So we had to go through the bumps and the bruises of it. But I promise God, I say, God, if you let me get in this and you allow it to work for me, I promise once I get it, I'll go all over the world teaching it to other people. So I'm proud to say today that, several years ago, probably over 7 years ago now, it was one person, that was one me, and I had one rental house. But today, through the teaching of it, we're super proud of it that we're now in 24 different states, and there's over 275 of these independent living facilities, guys. And that's with the Teaching Through Forston Consultants, our YouTube channel, and all of the free coaching that we give out 3 days a week, guys. We're really consistent on Clubhouse. Our YouTube lives have been going crazy now. And now we're also streaming to Facebook and Twitter at the same time. So again, welcome no matter what forum that you're watching us from. Our goal is to teach you today in terms of what this is, how we do it, but also show you that it's also not rocket science. So I want to show two models today, right? I want to show you the model where you're actually going to be doing this yourself, the ILF operator. And then I also want to show you the model of doing this from the HRA standpoint. The HRA stands for Housing Referral Agency. And that just literally means that you can do what we do, but you don't need the actual real estate to do it. God has showed us and developed a new way that we can now do what we do, Ashley. And you can do the same thing that we do 5, 6, 7 days a week. You can still house the homeless. You can still house the displaced. But with the HRA, you're being a referral agency. So you're just referring people out for housing, and you can still make an income and you can still make an impact. So again, guys, that's who we are. That's what we do. We just got a lot of different ways that we do it. We're also business coaches. So God has blessed Shay and I to own 8 different businesses now. And I'll be honest, right? I'm not the superstar of them all. Literally, this one business that right here we're talking about today, I'm heavily involved in it. But those other 7 businesses that we have, guys, I'll admit, most of those are ran by virtual assistants that we hire at $4 an hour. So a lot of what we'll talk about today too, right, is utilizing virtual assistants to do what we do. But even before I kind of get into it, I want Shay to kind of jump in real quick because my wife does what I do, y'all, but she does it from a nonprofit standpoint. So we usually don't talk about that a whole lot. But guys, I do this from the standpoint of being an LLC for profit. My wife does this from the point of being a nonprofit. So I'm going to let Shay kind of tell you about her program, the name of it, who she houses, and why did she decide to go nonprofit. And then, guys, please, we love questions. So type in your question, or if you want to come on stage, we can pull you up. We're all family here. But Miss Shay, introduce yourself one more time and tell people, what do you do and why did you choose to do it from a nonprofit standpoint, and what population do you serve?
Yeah, so I'm Shanya Shea Forston, once again, better known as Shay. Easiest way to say it, right? But I do this through the Angela Denise Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization, 501c3. The reason why I chose to do nonprofit is the fact that I can pretty much do some other things as well, and not only be geared or focused to housing. The goal was to start with housing, but expand my reach, be able to provide lower cost housing, be able to supplement income or supplement bed fees with grants and grant funding that we get in from private donors, corporate donors, and stuff like that. So it was looking at it from a bigger or a larger scale. Seeing it from the for-profit side, we did notice some barriers in regards to the for-profit, which were the population types that were coming in and the lack of funds. So it was, how could we supplement the funds for those that don't have it, right? There's a lot of programs, there's a lot of things that we can connect to in what we do through other organizations, but why not me be the organization that can that the ILF community or the ILF association can utilize to be able to leverage some funding that we get in order to expand their bed count and be able to supplement some of their residents' fees as well. Not only that, from the nonprofit standpoint, I can utilize different things and I'm able to give people opportunities. Like, prime example, the for for example, if you're in school and you're like learning to be or getting ready to continue your education as a licensed psychologist, clinical nurse practitioner in the realm of mental health counseling, you can utilize my nonprofit organization to complete those schooling fees and those hours because we are registered. So there's things that I'm able to do and I can allow people to do by being that nonprofit organization. And again, grants, being able to grant funding and not just stop with housing, but be able to do other programs and other initiatives in the community was the goal for the 501c3. So that's the reason why I went nonprofit.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And right before we go to Miss Tiffany and Neonta, I want to jump into a question that's kind of tied to the title, right? And someone asked, why is this the best real estate strategy, Derek? I noticed your title, you're saying this is the best real estate strategy. And again, welcome to all of my people on Clubhouse, YouTube, Twitter, but we're really encouraging everybody to come to YouTube so that way you guys can be here with us and interactive. So join us on YouTube at Forston Consultants, but welcome everybody. But why this is the best real estate strategy, guys, because guys, it's kind of what a lot of people are calling it now, real estate on steroids. That's because we take one asset and we rent to multiple people. That's why it's called a shared living environment. So now my folks on Clubhouse, you guys can actually see my photo. And that's why next week I'm excited because I'm going to start bringing in PowerPoints and lots of pictures because when I'm talking, I want you guys to be able to visualize also what we're saying. And that's the cheat code to us being on YouTube now. But imagine me taking a 4-bed, 2-bath home. But that's where now I can take 8 people from homeless to hopeful, whether that's a military veteran, teenagers aging from the foster care system, or my favorite, elderly adults. I love the older crew, y'all. So again, I'm gonna give y'all an example of where I live at in Orlando. My rent fee, guys, for per bed is $680, right? So imagine that times 8 people. That's kind of what the math looks like, right? So again, that's why people are kind of calling this model what they do. And I'll admit, we don't kind of refer to that. We look at this as this is the way for us to house a population of people that most people turn their backs on.
Yeah.
So that's why we believe that the true blessing to being in this kind of real estate is that you're kind of doing God's will at the same time. So for us, this is not just a business. This is actually also a ministry. Because guys, trust me, I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop. But in that Bible, it says the poor and needy will always be among us. I didn't say that. It also says in that good book that we are to take care of the poor, the needy, and the widow. Guys, we're doing that. We just so happen to be doing it through real estate. How great is that? So if you agree with that, put a number 7 in the chat. If you agree with what we're doing, it's actually doing God's will. And I truly believe that if you want to see your life change, right, you take care of God's people. My mom always says that, right? If you really want to see the hand of God move in your life, you start taking care of God's people. And
Yeah.
again, guys, we're doing what the Bible says do, the poor, the needy, and the widow. God's just so genius that he wrapped it up in a way that he just allowed us to combine social services and real estate together. So we serve a population, guys, that can't afford to go get their own apartment. They can't afford to go and get their own house. So when we tell them that, hey, we offer this shared living environment, and bro, you pay 1 fee and I pay the lights, the water, the cable, the Wi-Fi, and the security system. All that's on me, guys. When you guys become these ILF operators, your clients don't pay the lights and the water and the Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
We're known as a one-stop shop. Shay, you house elderly women. Do your women pay you separately for light, Shay?
Absolutely not. Where they're going to get the income from?
Shay, do your women pay you separately for the Wi-Fi bill?
Nope.
Shay, you're known as a one-stop shop, right? Because we make it easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we often say that we make the transition easy. That's kind of one of our slogans, actually. That's also why social workers and case managers like us so much. We're able to make decisions just like that. Sometimes when you're trying to get your loved one into an ALF or a group home, sometimes the decision maker is like several people down the chain. When you become an ILF operator, once you do that assessment, you can make a decision in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you're going to house that person. So there's a lot of times where I'll get a call on a Monday and I'm housing that guy Monday. Sometimes I get a call on Tuesday, I'm housing that guy by Thursday. So there's not a lot of room that we need as ILF operators. And again, I got several reasons why this is the best strategy, but I love to talk about the impact and the income, first of all, because in this form of real estate, we're able to make an impact in my community, and we're also able to make an income. And watch this. Remember, I told you guys, I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop, but I love God and we love people. And we also live by this mantra, right? We all want to please God. We want to help people. We want to be respected by our community. And guys, I want to make enough money to be able to feed my family.
Yeah.
Put a number 3 in the chat, or just say yes if that's you. Like if you want to live by that, and I'll repeat that because it's really simple. I want to please God. Because again, somewhere in that Bible, it says that if we seek ye the kingdom first, that means what are we trying to do for God? Like, can I build God's kingdom? And guys, I'm building it by helping his people, by what he told me to do. So some people choose to feed people. Some people choose to clothe people. We found our niche in housing them. So again, I want to please God. I want to help people. Guys, I want to be respected by my community. Yeah. And guys, I also want to make enough money to feed my family. Y'all got families. I want y'all to feed y'all family. I'm not asking anybody here to start a shelter to where you're going to be housing people for free. Right now, today, we're not built to do that. Now, somewhere way down the line, I want God to give me a real big building. I want to just house people for free. And we'll tie case management into it, social work, food pantry. But the goal is to get those people on their feet to still get their own place. Right. But today, guys, we serve a population of people that receive a guaranteed income. Okay. So they receive something that's called SSI, SSDI, right? Or some of them have jobs. Dr. Sheila, everybody that I house, Doc, they all don't get that check that we talk about. I house guys that work at McDonald's, guys that work at Sonny's Barbecue, guys that work at Walmart, guys that do odd-end jobs as the shade tree mechanic. But that's how he pay his rent. So guys, don't get it right. Don't get it twisted just because my background is social work and we're only housing the people coming from hospitals. Because I put my flyers everywhere and my social media everywhere, and because of how today is with the current market of rental rates and real estate, we're not just housing the mental health guy anymore. Now we house the everyday Joe, Tim. Big shout out to a bunch of people that I talked to yesterday that you guys are on this call now. I love that. So again, guys, my flyer game is sick. And I'm getting ready to land my plane. And I'm going to go to Neonta and Tiffany, 2 people that we've taught this to. But guys, I'm the guy that go through Walmart and everybody in the parking lot get a flyer about my housing program. I'm the guy that go in Publix and I put my flyers by the sugar, by the ice cream, by the popsicles, by the frozen pizza, by the Advil, by the weight loss stuff. I'm that guy.
He's the person that'll embarrass you. He will embarrass you, ladies and gentlemen. You will be in total public doing whatever y'all are out doing. It can be just a date night. It can be anything of the
Some people
nature.
call it guerrilla marketing.
It's worse than
I
guerrilla
don't know what the
marketing.
name of it is, but I'm the guy that right now, guys, watch this, because there's no excuse to do what we do, right? I always tell people the hardest part to do what we do is getting the real estate to do it in.
Yeah.
Getting the clients is thousands and millions of these residents and clients all over the world. They're looking for places like this. They need your help, right? So my thought process when, man, if I give out 1,000 flyers, you mean to tell me I can't find 6 people that need housing? That's my thought process. So some people call it guerrilla marketing. I just call it common sense. If I go to a Walmart parking lot and I take my flyers, which my virtual assistants create for me, and they send it to the company that ships it to my house. Because remember, guys, I'm not very techie. So we use virtual assistants from VA 101. She'll put that in the chat. For $4 an hour, my VA make these flyers. I pick them up. Guys, I get like 500 flyers for like $40. It's crazy. I'm the guy that goes to the Walmart parking lot, and every windshield in the parking lot, every car gets one of these flyers. That's one of the ways that we advertise what we do. Because the next question was, Derek, how do you advertise this? Social media, my YouTube channel that I'm on right now, and then going to that Walmart parking lot. Because if I hand out 500 flyers, I guarantee you there's at least 5 people that's going to need placement for their brother, their mother, their Uncle Joe, their Auntie Betty. Somebody, guys, it's expensive now to live anywhere. So that's why I made that point earlier about we're not just housing the people coming from the hospitals anymore. We're housing everyday people that have a 9-to-5 job. We had a room about 3 weeks ago where we talked about that, where we're housing people today, guys. They have a regular job. They look good. They smell good. They have a brand new car, all of that. But when you guys clock out and go home, she sleeps in her car or he sleeps in his car in the Wawa parking lot, at the Walmart parking lot, where they come to work every day and been on this job 6, 7, 8, 13 years. You don't know it, but they homeless. You guys are working with people like that and y'all don't even know it. Okay.
Yeah, you've said it. There's been times where I worked when I was at corporate America in the hospital, working in healthcare, and that was such a thing. There were people that were literally utilizing the break, not the break room, the locker room to prepare themselves for work because they could not afford, regular housing accommodations because of the cost. So again, it's just knowing that there are people out there that need you, no matter what they look like, no matter what you think they're making or what you think their income is. The everyday Joe, the look of homelessness has completely changed. And it's a matter of noticing, or even when you notice it more when you're in the space, but it'll really open your eyes to the people that you surround yourself with on a day-to-day basis, seeing that there are people in dire need for housing that look just like us. Yeah.
It's something, man. So without any further ado, I want you guys to also be able to hear from other people that we've taught this to. And also for a quick commercial break, thank you guys so much for joining the live podcast. Don't wait to be great. If you're not already following us on YouTube, please do so. We really, really appreciate all of the follows here lately. You guys have swarmed us. We had a goal to get to 1,000 follows by December 25th. Guys, we blew that out of the water a few weeks ago. So I want to thank each and every one of you that did that. And if you haven't by now, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is where all of our lives are going to be held now. So YouTube, Facebook, and also Twitter. We're slowly kind of moving away from Clubhouse, believe it or not, guys. Clubhouse has changed a lot. So we're kind of changing with the seasons, right? YouTube is also more of I'll just say a better platform at this point. I won't go too deep because we're live on Clubhouse. So if you're on Clubhouse right now, guys, please consider joining us. There's a link at the top. If you click that link, if you're on Clubhouse, it'll lead you right into the YouTube channel. But also, guys, our Black Friday sale goes through today. And it's crazy, guys. Our $15,000 coaching, guys, is on an 80% sale.
Right.
So it is absolute crazy. Shay'll do me a favor and put that in the chat here in a minute. Also with the QR code, not QR code, the coupon code and all of that stuff. So our HRA business in the box, which literally comes with a virtual assistant, guys, it's like $399. It's crazy. And remember, a VA comes with it. Our VAs by itself are $697. So that 80% sale off the HRA business in the box is a no-brainer. And also the ILF Mastery Blueprint, which is usually a $15,000 product and worth every penny. Guys, that's 80% off. So definitely consider that. And also, again, today, though, my goal is, I told you, I want to give some game today, but also want to give an opportunity for people to get in. And if I don't make good on that promise, you all make sure you tell me. So without further ado, Miss Tiffany, thank you so much for being here. Introduce yourself, Tiffany. Tell people how great you are, where you're from, the name of your program. And Tiffany, just kind of give the people a little bit of insight. Why did you decide to get in this whole shared housing thing? And how has it been for your life, your family, and just for you all, just in general?
Good morning, everyone. I pray that everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Super excited about being here this morning. My name is Tiffany Walker, and me and my family own and operate Good Samaritan Solutions here in the Oklahoma City area. We are currently operating out of 2 ILFs. We also provide affordable housing to families. And then I am a realtor specializing with working with investors like myself and others looking for properties that may be distressed in some form or fashion. We have been in the ILF game for a little over a year. November the 16th was our 1-year anniversary. And it has totally changed. It has totally changed our life in the way that we look at things. We've always been givers. We've always been people that help. We've always provided things, but it opened up a whole new world to us or let me say, it opened up a way that we could serve the people that were around us. And so that was one of the biggest buy-ins for us, is like Derek always says, you want to please God, please, by serving his people. So that was something that that really drew us to the ILF, because it was definitely a real estate with a mission and a purpose of serving others. And so that was one thing that really, really did stand out for us. And then, the Forston family as a whole, just the way that they operated, the way that they did things, just confirmed that we were in the right space and with the right people. So it was really exciting. We do it from a for-profit standpoint. Hopefully one day we will do it from a nonprofit standpoint, but currently we're doing it from a for-profit. We also partner with a lot of nonprofits to provide additional things for our homeless community or just those in need. So we're kind of doing it from a nonprofit sense in a way, but just not our personal nonprofit. So really just gosh, I can't say enough how much it's changed and opened up our eyes to the needs of the people around us. This is definitely an opportunity, not just to provide housing, but like I said, to be able to partner, because when people call you and they are looking for housing, you may not be able to provide that particular person housing or that particular agency, but I guarantee you that there's something else that you can do for that agency or something else you can help that agency with. You want to provide value, you want to provide service to them way before you even think about trying to get them to send people to house you or to be housed in your program. So it's been several opportunities that we've been allowed to do that. And that's just something that just when I go to sleep at night, I'm just like, thank you, Lord, for allowing us, putting us into a position to be able to help others, because that's the biggest key. It's not just about the money or making the money or how, it's about the life change that you are a part of when you provide that. So that's the biggest reasons that we decided to go the ILF route, and so thankful that we did, so thankful that we came across the Forstons, and just excited about all the things that God has in store for us.
Good stuff. Shay?
Love it.
Love it.
To Mr. Otis, who's in Clubhouse, if I sent you a link, check your text messages, pop on over, because what I'm noticing is that the audio, I don't know if the Clubhouse folks can hear our people over in the StreamYard studio. So go ahead and let me know if you can hear all that Miss Tiffany said by putting a number 1 in the chat, because from my device, I am not getting the audio in. This is the changes of technology. So Otis, if you can pop on over to YouTube, there's the StreamYard Studio. It is audio and visual. You can turn your camera off if you don't want to be on camera, but come on over, click on that link and just jump on in. But for all of you that are in the Clubhouse room and want to hear everything that the moderators are saying, pop on over to YouTube. Come check us out. Let us see your smiling face this Saturday morning.
To Otis, the people calling for him.
Yep, they
Dr.
got you
She just
all.
they love Otis.
Come on,
Come on
Otis.
in, Otis.
They're looking for you on
They waiting
YouTube,
for you,
Otis.
bro.
They want to see your smiling face.
I love it. I,
So
I
yeah, I
love it.
just wanted to give that little bit of an announcement, Derek. So go ahead, back to you.
And also, happy anniversary to Tiffany. And it's kind of hard to forget
Wow,
that Tiffany's
yes.
anniversary for her ILF guys is literally on my birthday. How crazy is that? So that's always exciting to hear. And just in case if you guys missed it, or if Tiffany didn't say it, or I missed it, Tiffany's whole family is involved in this, guys. And it's kind of like us at the Forstons. Tiffany's dad's involved in this, her family, her brother. Like, it's a family thing. And that's kind of how we like it, right? Obviously, everybody's plans and dreams are different, but it's pretty cool when you can get your family involved in this. And I'll never forget that morning. And when Tiffany was like, "Well, Derek, you gonna allow me to call you on your birthday?" I was like, "Tiffany, are you serious? You have an open house today. You've ordered all these donuts and danishes and apple fritters, and you got all of these case managers coming." I said, "We praying with you, but before you even get started." I said, "What time is it where you live at?" And sure enough, man, like, she was blown by that. But that's what we believe in. When you come under our coaching, it's like you become part of our family. Tiffany is not a mentee. Notice I never used the word mentee in this room. You guys have never heard me say, I can't even spell it. We use the word family. Like, I've met Tiffany in person. I've met her dad in person.
Yeah.
Like, this is family, right? And I just love it how even before Tiffany met us, now don't get this twisted, the way that she's done her real estate, it's always been a family thing, right?
Yeah.
But in this ILF life and now with the people that she's serving, I just love it, man, that you can involve your family no matter the age, no matter the race, no matter how tall, small, big. Because, guys, again, when you got God behind you doing something like this, man, it's hard to beat that, right? Big shout out, Kel Harvey. What's going on, big bro? Big shout out to my big brother, Kelvin Harvey, man. Looking forward to get him started as well. He's coming back home possibly, but if not, we can get him started in Kentucky as well.
Yeah.
This model, for the person that asked the question, this works anywhere, guys. I love to tell people that this works in all 50 states, but I am very honest with people that and tell folks that in some really expensive areas, like certain parts of California, Oregon, Washington, some of those upper states, New York, may be a little bit difficult in terms of because what
Yeah.
the real estate cost in terms of the rental rates. But, guys, this works anywhere. And for people that can't obtain the real estate, they often decide to do the HRA program. The HRA allows you guys to do exactly what we do, but you never need the real estate. So definitely check out the free webinar at forstonconsultants.com and click on the webinars link. And it'll literally give you a 14-minute webinar that'll teach you exactly what we do. And you never have to buy a house or rent it. You never need the real estate. You only need the relationship. Because remember, you're going to be referring out to people. So HRA stands for Housing Referral Agency. So that means that you're going to get the same phone calls we do, because I'm going to teach you how to get that phone ringing. But when they say, "Hey, man, I got a great guy. He's 55 years old, being discharged tomorrow." You don't have a house, but they don't have to know that. You just say, "Sir, no problem. Give me 30 minutes and we'll figure it out. I'll call you back." Now you tap into this network that we'll put you in, and that we're also going to teach you to build yourself. And you'll refer that person to somebody else that has the real estate that does this. And now you make a referral fee.
Yep.
Okay. So we'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute, but I want Neonta to introduce herself from down South Florida. Neonta, are you with us, sis?
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, sir. I'm here. How y'all doing this morning?
Good
Happy
morning, sis.
Saturday.
Doing really great. Doing
I'm
really
sure
great.
y'all
Tell the
still
people.
hear the sleep in my voice, but I'm awake. Bless the Lord.
Good stuff. Tell the people
Um,
how great you are, where you're located, the name of your program, and again, kind of what made you get into this, and also what
so my name,
population you serve.
so my name is Neonta Saint For. My husband and I own and operate Saints Care LLC down in Miami Gardens, Florida. We've been in the ILF space a little over a year. October 7th made a year. And it's been a blessing ever since. What kind of pulled us over to ILF was we're actually both nurses by trade. I'm an RN, emergency room nurse. He is a home health nurse. And we were considering doing an ALF, just because me seeing what I saw in the emergency room, patients coming from ALFs, the way they were treated and disregarded, and it just broke my heart because I love elderly people, and it just really broke my heart. So looking into it and getting information regarding ALF, I realized it was a very not very easy to space to move into, and very what's the word, uh, expensive. And it took a very long time to get into it. And plus, with all the oversight and all of that kind of stuff, it just was very difficult. And we actually didn't start the process, but we looked into it. Well, lo and behold, I have a friend from Orlando who was on Clubhouse at the time. I didn't even use Clubhouse. Actually, I won't say friend, a sister who uses Clubhouse, and she sent me a link. She also is a business coach, and we had been talking. And I was in California on a travel assignment, and we had set up the LLC,
Hold
and
it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Shout out to God Almighty who puts people in
Connected.
place
Yeah.
for
yeah,
something you need. That's
yes,
powerful.
come on here,
Like
yeah,
we've never talked about that. And I'm sorry I just kind of jumped in there, but we've never talked about how powerful that is that God put somebody else in place for something that you needed.
Right.
Wow,
yeah,
that's powerful. Go ahead,
yeah.
sis. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's real. Listen, divine connections is something on a whole nother level. When you connect with the right people, with from a God perspective, you're unstoppable because God is just great like that. So, but
Wow.
anyway, don't let me get off on that tangent. Because it don't take much. It don't take much for
It
me.
sure don't.
So, what was I? What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, I came on Clubhouse. I think the name of the room was "Quit Your Job in 90 Days" and how's the homeless and quit your
Mm-hmm.
job in 90 days, something to that effect. And I was like, what's this? And so I listened. I told my husband, hey, I think this might be an avenue instead of the ALF. I think we'll be able to move into this a little bit quicker and make some money. And because my goal is still to do the ALF, eventually, but I
Absolutely.
definitely want to get to a space where we can be financially able to do it without breaking the bank
Yeah.
and also making money while we're in the process of getting the ALF started. But anywho, so they had the master class. I think it was the first master class in June of 2022. I told my husband, hey, I want to go to this master class. My husband, for anybody that knows him, he's a very skeptical person. So he was like, I don't know why they gonna charge both us. Da, 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 da." I was like, listen, what you gonna do? I'm going. We just go to Orlando and
They're
we'll
just saying,
just
what
take
you
the
gonna do,
kids.
man?
Like that, right? What you gonna do? Because I'm going. Nah,
What you gonna
He's
do?
like,
But
I don't
that's a
know.
good
Let me think
story.
about it. Okay, well, you
Right.
think about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and sign up. So I did. We did come up to Orlando as a family. We took the kids out. We did all of that, and I came to the class, and from there was history, man. And God has done what God has done, and I have housed military veterans since October. No, my first veteran moved in November. We got the house in October. Leased, by the way, leased the house in October. Moved the first veteran in the weekend, that Friday after Thanksgiving. Matter of fact, yeah. Wow.
That's
Yeah.
powerful.
The Friday after Thanksgiving, moved the first
Wow.
veteran in, and since then we've
Happy
housed
anniversary.
about,
Right.
thank you, 11 veterans from since that time.
Wow.
And so, yeah, here we are, still moving in that space, and actually still looking for our second property and trying to figure out how I can expand into South Carolina. So
Wow.
Come
super
on,
excited
South
about
Wow.
what
Wow.
God is
Carolina.
Wow.
doing.
Let's go.
That's
Yeah,
that's exciting. And in fact, it's so exciting. I'm gonna recap it. Let's do a fire round really quick because I want
Let's
people to
go.
make sure that they heard what you said.
Rapid fire.
And for the people that just came on, Neonta, how long ago did you start your housing program? This whole shared housing model through Forston Consultants. How long ago again?
literally a year and what, a month. And the
So
first person did move into literally a year ago. Yesterday made a year because he moved in the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Gotcha. Okay.
got it. Now tell me this: did you go out and buy this house or did you rent it?
We are renting this house.
Where did you learn that from? Where did you learn that you can rent a place and then house people?
I say my coaches is the bomb. Force the consultants.
Now tell me this, because everybody, like, if you get into a conversation about what population I want to serve, most people gonna say military veterans, military veterans. Who do you house, Neonta?
I house military veterans. My
She
husband and
actually
I are
does
both
it.
military veterans, by the way. I don't know
Stop
if I
right there.
said that.
Stop right there. Because I'm making a point. A lot of people say it. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a lady
Right.
that's literally doing it. And did you hear what she said before that? She literally gave you the reason why she's housing military veterans. Because somebody's thinking, well, why do you choose that? She's a military veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Her and her husband both served. By the way, thank y'all for y'all service. But they're also nurses.
Yep.
Don't get it twisted. You don't need to be a nurse to do this. Nianta just extra upgraded because she is a nurse.
Yeah.
So her spiel that I teach you all of what you're saying to people, her spiel actually sounds better than any of us when we say it. Because when she says it, she can say, oh, and by the way, I'm also a nurse. RN, by the way. See the difference in that? There's a different trust factor that goes into that, Shay.
She can also say, I'm a veteran.
Yeah.
Also a veteran.
I'm also
housing.
A veteran. You cannot
Military
forget about
veterans.
that.
So if you're on YouTube, just in case if you want to see what this model looked like, and again, I'm so excited because next week I'm actually gonna have a PowerPoint. Nianta's picture, and I love it that she did that. Tiffany, that's a great idea. Nianta's giving you what this model looks like. Guys, this isn't rocket science. Nianta went and found a 4-bed, 2-bath home that's really expensive in down south or Miami.
Yeah.
Crazy expensive down there. So there is no excuse that you can't do this because of the pricing. Guys, she has a model where she does 2 people per room. Did you hear the amount of people? Because I'm gonna let her say it again. Nianta, how many people have you taken from homeless to hopeful that would have been homeless on the street without your program?
So we've housed a total of 11 people
11
since last year.
Can you
go ahead?
Can you tell me your youngest client to date and what was your oldest client to date? And these are all military veterans, ladies and gentlemen.
My youngest client, 30 years old, still with me, and my oldest was 93, and he actually passed away in July.
Gotcha.
So 30 to 93.
Lord have
right?
mercy.
Yes, ma'am.
Look at the age range. Look at how she was able to give a vet that was pretty much at end of life, going through his transition or their transition, an opportunity for a safe, secure housing option. Like, although that individual passed away, look at how God will use you to bring somebody comfort and peace in their final hours. Like, that is the thing that you don't want to take for granted in this business and in what we do.
And how do you put a 93-year-old on the street, Shay?
People do it.
Can you guys imagine when Nianta got that phone call? Shay, talk about that. Like, Shay, it wasn't you, but Shay, can you just talk about, then give it to your sister? Can you imagine getting a phone call for a 93-year-old that's going to be homeless on the street without your help?
Derek, we've done it. We've received phone calls like this. We've had phone calls from women that were in their 80s living in their cars. And it's been, listen, those calls right there will mess you up, to say the least, because it's heart-wrenching to see that someone that has served our country, that has battle scars and wounds and everything, to make sure that we have freedom, that we have the ability to do exactly this. And man, like, Nianta, how was that experience for you? But before you go there, to the new people that have just joined us on Clubhouse, utilize the link at the top of the page. We are actually hanging out over here in YouTube and Facebook. And we want you to hear our guest. We have guests with us, and we want you to come on over so you can hear their story and their input on how they're utilizing the ILF model to change lives. Mr. Otis, we need you over here, sir. Please. All right, sis, go for it.
So when I met that particular veteran, I will just call him Adam for HIPAA's sake, even though he's not with us anymore. I was blown away, first of all, by his ability to articulate at 93 years old. He was 100% there. I mean, literally, he was more together mentally than most of my younger guys, to be honest. Like, he had everything laid out. He was able to, and I was outdone by the fact that he wasn't going to have a place to go, and he had been searching. So when I got the call from the case manager, she was like, "Hey, I got a guy, 93 years old." I was like, "Huh? 93-year-old? Are you think you can take him?" I was like, let me meet him. I was like, "Is he healthy? Does he take his medications? Does he have Alzheimer's?" Because all these things are going through my head. Like, 93 years old, you don't meet very many 93-year-olds that are completely independent. At least I don't. I'll say it that way.
Right.
Here in South Florida. And so she was like, "Yeah, no, he lives by himself. He has an apartment, but he's losing the apartment and da 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 da." And I'm like, "Oh wow." So I said, "Of course, I can meet him tomorrow." And so went to the agency. He and I met up. And like I said, he was 100% cognizant, able to tell me every single medication that he took, what time he took it, had a list of everything, told me where his end of life papers were in his house
Wow.
and
Wow. He was
everything.
with it.
Wow. So he
And
was
He's on it.
wow.
He
Wow,
was
wow,
on
wow,
it.
yeah,
wow.
he was, yeah. So I would, when he passed away, when he went in the house, he went in for like a surgery on his foot and never, came back. So I was that,
Gotcha.
it hurt me to my heart because I'm like, man, this man was full of life and everything. But during the time that he was there, he was only with us for about a month or two. But the time that he was there definitely was a blessing to him and to us because um, he had a situation where when they packed up his stuff, they lost some of his medications. And
Mm.
so I took him
Mm.
to one of the hospitals that I worked at because I had a doc started making, because I work at multiple hospitals. So I started making phone calls. Let me see who's working. Let me make some phone calls if I can get in real quick and get out. And thankfully, one of the docs that I work with, that I've been working with for years, he was like, "Yeah, bring him on in. We'll write the scripts or whatever."
Wow.
So we went on down to the emergency room, and we got there, and they got him situated, gave him his medication, got him his prescriptions and everything. And then when we left, it was my daughter and I. And I was like, "Are you hungry?" I was like, "I'm hungry. I need something to eat, and I'm not cooking tonight." So I stopped and got some at this Haitian restaurant, got some Haitian food. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll take something, but I can give you some money." I was like, "No, sir. Don't worry about it. It's on Saint's care." So got some
Okay.
food, and we were in the car driving back, and he literally just looked at me and he started crying. And I'm like, "Wait, what's wrong? No,
Yeah.
why are you crying?" And he was like, "No, I'm just so happy.
I
Thank you
couldn't
guys
believe
so
it.
much, for just loving me. And
My
everybody's
God.
so kind. And, I really appreciate you all being so loving, and you don't have to do this." And I'm like, "Oh my God, now I'm about to cry. Man, I'm about to cry now thinking about it." And my
Yeah.
daughter was like, "Oh no, Mr. Adams." She patted him on his back. "It's okay." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh my goodness." So it was just a blessing. And he would say, do things like that very often, just very, very grateful and appreciative. And so it just really blessed me to be able to be a blessing to him, in those times, in those last few months of his life. It was definitely a life changing and eye opening experience for me, because I've always wanted to, help the elderly, be there for the elderly. And so God allowed that, those moments with him. And I have some other guys, same type, same similar situations. I'm just grateful that God allows us to be conduits of his love through this ILF space. So I'm excited about that.
I love it.
wow.
I
That's
love it.
awesome.
Can I get some hearts in the chat if you guys think that was pretty cool? How she can take a
Absolutely.
93-year-old from homeless to hopeful, and she didn't have to buy a property. She didn't have to go and get some license to do
Not
this.
at all. Nope.
Like, that's what's so life changing. Can you guys see why I tell people the blessing is built into what we do? Come on, y'all. Think about that. That's why the blessing is built into what we do, guys. She took a 93-year-old that would have been homeless on the street without her. And these are the people that we're helping each and every day. So I'm just super excited about that. Did we get Otis on stage yet?
No, I have not. I may have to jump out and call
What's
him.
going on, Mr. Dornico? I see your big bro back there in the cut with your blue sweater on, just chilling. What's going on, D?
Not much. I'm getting ready for a big rivalry game. It's probably already on, y'all.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Well, hey, do us an intro before you go. Just tell the people how great you are, where you're located, the name of your program, and what population you serve, D.
Yeah. I don't know. Right now, my head is a little everywhere, but I am Dornico Rigel. We have Fresh Start Housing of Dayton in the Dayton, Ohio area. Um, Population wise, any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? But I do really well with the assessment. I'm getting better and better, and I don't think you're always gonna have it. You got to evolve. So I look to be
What
better.
is the assessment, D? I'll just turn it
It's
into a teaching moment for a few folks. What is the assessment that you're referring to?
a series of questions that will allow me, the ILF operator, to determine whether this person is a fit for my, let me sound like their program.
Mm.
That makes sense because that is a good moment, an allowable selfish situation. It should be because you have other people living there that you owe. You know what I mean? That you should be able to, you know, be held accountable as far as bringing in the right person. I'm sorry, y'all. I just get my truck towed. But yeah, 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
Hey, you good, D? I'm gonna hop over there to
Yeah.
Tiffany real quick. Hey, Tiffany, if you can hop back in for me real quick, because I know that we spoke to you earlier, but I want the people to still hear. What's the population you serve, Tiffany? How did you choose
Right.
the population? And give me an age range.
So we serve pretty much, you know, I don't want to just say anybody, but we do we provide housing for veterans. We provide housing for elderly. We have working individuals. Right now, believe it or not, most of the people that we house are working individuals. And then I would say the other population is elderly, and some of those elderly individuals are veterans. So, and how I chose them, I didn't really choose them. I prayed about it. And I took the advice of my coaching and let the need dictate, the community dictate who we were needing to house. So that's kind of how it just kind of fell out. We've had a huge influx of women here lately that have needed housing. So it's been really remarkable because we've gotten some really good ladies. One of the ladies is escaping domestic violence. I think I mentioned that on one of our other rooms. When I say she was ready to get out of there, she went to the bus station and said, "What's the first bus leaving?" They said it's going to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and she got on that bus and came to Oklahoma City, y'all. So she was ready
Wow.
to leave. So it was very comforting to know that we could supply. She came here, connected with one of the agencies here that handle that by the name of Palomar. They handle domestic violence situations. They paid her first month rent all within just maybe a week or two of really a week of less than a week of her being here. They were able to connect her with us. I was actually connected to that agency through my virtual assistant at that time. She was the one that actually made that phone call. I went in, did a presentation, and we have been connected ever since. So it's been, connections are really, relationships are very important, and make sure that you always connect. But that was really who we serve and how that all process happened. And I couldn't be happier with that young lady. She's one of my best tenants. Never have any problems from her at all.
Wow. You actually answered a second question from me without me even saying it. Because I was going to ask you now, give me the story probably of kind of one of your story that kind of touched your heart probably the most here recently. This sounds like that was probably it. Am I right about that, Tiffany?
Yes, that's correct. And and when I say that she has just brought a lot of peace and harmony to the home, it was already very cool. The other two ladies that were already living there were very nice. One of them is an older lady, another young girl. She's actually works a full-time job, but she has heart issues and things like that. So she's, it's been kind of touch and go with her on some situations as far as health-wise, but it just kind of brought some, just they all, especially the other young lady that works, they have made a really cool bond with each other. And I just appreciate the fact that she's always thanking me for everything that we do for her. We were able to connect with another organization and provide them with Thanksgiving dinner because she left her baby behind, you all. When I say baby, her baby girl is 13. She had to leave her behind in that situation, and she's not being abused or anything, thank God. But can you imagine as a mother leaving behind your 13-year-old daughter because you've got to flee to go and be safe somewhere so that you can be a better person and come back and be able to legally get her and move forward, with life and get away from that abusive situation. So everything about her, like she's always saying how great she thinks me and my dad, my family are, our program. But it's just so funny. I tell her all the time how inspiring she is to those that are listening to her story of bravery just to get off. One day he goes to a grocery store and she says, "I'm out of here." She packed up a few things and headed right to the bus station. I mean, the lady on the bus even that was waiting at the terminal waiting for her she said when she told her what was going on, she just started throwing everybody's luggage on. And she said it was some little older people that was on the bus, and it was sort of like one of those moments from, if you guys remember that movie, Set It Off. They were all bent down, like looking
Yeah.
around, trying to see if he. It was so funny. Like they were all excited that she had got on the bus. So I said that wasn't nothing but God that orchestrated that. He knew exactly. And I said, don't you worry about your baby, because whoever that gentleman is, he can't do anything because God is not going to allow that to happen. And so she's just taking step after step every single day she's been getting up and putting one foot in front of the other. And I know that that's hard. Like, I can't even imagine. I don't even want to even say that I can even imagine the pain that she feels. But I wanted to make sure that they had, food and everything that they needed for Thanksgiving. She cooked all the food. She says, I'm a homemaker. So it brought a lot of joy to her, and it brought a lot of joy to us to be able to help provide that. So it's just an inspiring story. And I told her, I said, you're going to help people. God's got you on this walk to inspire other women that were in your situation. You're going to help them make the same decision you made. You will be that lifeline for them to make that same decision one day.
I love it. Tiffany, I'm going to come right back to you, right? Because there's another question that came in, and instead of me answering it, right, I just kind of want to show people how the coaching goes and how you all do this, right? Once you receive the coaching, then I want to go to Neonta right after this. Tiffany, somebody's wondering right now, how did those people know to call you for help? In other words, Tiffany, how did you get the word out about what you do? How do people now know that your program is the go-to when it comes to housing? What did you do?
Now, in order for me or the connection that I made with Palomar, like I mentioned a few seconds ago, that connection was made through my virtual assistant at the time. She made a phone call. She had a list of organizations here in our city and area, and she just started making phone calls and connected with a young lady there named Jennifer. Jennifer reached out and said, hey, we would love to have Tiffany come out. I came out and spoke to about maybe 25 people. Was in the room that day. I did a beautiful presentation, brought some nothing bundt cakes because they love them with coffee. So it was a very, very good. I even had some swag, as I call it, booklets and pens and all those types of things, so that they could, every time they look at those pens or they look at those notebooks, because I know when I was in corporate America, we'd have a meeting and I'd be grabbing for a booklet something that I could write my notes on. So we have one and it says Good Samaritan Solutions on the front of it, and then we have pens and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure that they knew who we were, that they remember, and trust me, they have come through so many times, so it definitely went a long ways. And I just always, like Derek always mentions, I give out flyers everywhere. We have T-shirts, we have different things that we give out to people. When we give things away, our QR code and our company logo and phone number and everything is on those stickers that we put on those little plastic bags when we give out bottled water and snacks and hygiene kits and things like that. So they constantly know when we partner with other people, we're in our T-shirts, we have our table set up. We go above and beyond. Any opportunity that I see, I'm like, you know what, that's an opportunity for me to go by there. Absolutely. Or stop by. So it's just what I just tell everyone that I know. I tell other people to tell them that I know, and then I bring value and bring solutions to people with a little note that says, hey, thank you for letting us serve you today. And it's got our information.
That's so good.
Wow.
That is
Hopefully
so
you guys are catching this game, right? Because a lot of what she's saying, guys, is just a regurgitated coaching. So again, I'm going to allow people to speak for me instead of me saying it. Tiffany, one more time, right? I want to bring you back to the open house. Because Tiffany, I promised these people in the beginning I was going to give value, and then I was going to give an opportunity to either work with us or give enough value for people to do it on their own. So I'm just fulfilling my promise right now, Tiffany, through you. But watch this. Tiffany, tell the people, why did you do an open house when you first got started? How did you get case managers and social workers to show up to it? And what did you have there to kind of make everybody feel comfortable? And how did you explain your program? Like, why did you do that open house? Talk about that.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm a realtor, and let me start with, it was definitely through my coaching as well. For the most part, Derek was like, hey, you need to do an open house. You get people to come over and you tell them about the program, show them your house, that kind of stuff. And so then when I kind of incorporated my background of being a realtor, I've conducted many, many, many open houses. And so I just pulled a lot of the things that I know have been proven to bring value to the people that attend. And I just start pulling in all those resources. So I knew to go out and get, I got some really great warm apple fritters, and I got coffee, and I made the house smell nice. I had a little candle that was not too overbearing, but just a little subtle candle that I created a nice, warm, welcoming, because it was in November. So it was a little chilly that day, but the sun was out. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And so I just created everything that I could remember. I had a sign-in sheet when they would come in. I had our information that I had been given from my coaches, the Forstons, because they all wanted wanted to know, how does your program work? How does the is it a contract? Is it a lease? What, like, they had so many questions in the beginning when we started reaching out. And I just would go wherever the case managers were, wherever there was an organization or a place that had case management or social workers. I went to those places, like physically went there. We called, I went there, I dropped off flyers. And I didn't do it just one time, because flyers can get misplaced. People can put it on the back burner. I went
I love it.
Absolutely.
I went several times. I mean, even a couple people laughed, and then when I would come through the door, they just hold up my flyers. I said, okay, well, I just want to make sure you still got some. Here's some more. Give them out to people. And so we just kind of, and I, like I said, I made phone calls, and I went to county offices, and just really for weeks I did that. You know, when I knew we were getting ready, I started that even before we had the date of the open house, because there were a couple of things that still needed to be done. And so I was like, well, Lord, I don't know when exactly you want me to pull the trigger on this whole open house. So I'm just going to start letting people know. And they were like, okay. So I would collect their information when I'd go by. I would collect their emails and their phone numbers and things like that, so that I could make sure that when I did have a definite date, then I would invite them. Did everybody show up? No, they didn't. But even people, it was so well advertised that there were people that didn't show up that still are today sending me people, because I made that connection and I made sure that I kept them in the loop. I even sent them pictures of the open house. Like, I did a lot of follow-up type things to make sure that they felt a part of what happened, and that we want them to know that we can provide their clients housing as well, even though they didn't come. So advertising was huge. Marketing was huge for that event. And that's how we got the people to actually come and show up to the event.
Bam. Wow. 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 Wow.
I love that.
Wow. Shay?
I'm
I love it.
everything coached. Plus
People that follow the
extra.
recipe, like I just love it.
It's like, man, we hear
Just to
people
add her own little,
listen,
you know,
you got me holding my head
with them
'cause I know
apple
you see
fritters.
me. I'm like, oh, this is usually me on Clubhouse.
It's
right?
hard
Like,
to forget the lady with the apple fritters, y'all.
it is. It
Right?
really is.
It's
And
Shay, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Derek. Go
No,
ahead.
I just love it because, again, my thing is coffee and donuts. Tiffany went up a
Right.
notch. Tiffany said, Derek,
She
I'm
said,
gonna
"Come a
trump
little
your
higher."
donuts. I'm going warm apple fritters because it's cold outside.
It's knowing where you are and how to pull people in. What is it that you want them to see from your housing program? What is the atmosphere you want to create and nurture? So when these individuals come in from their hospitals, because okay, their idea is what they're used to seeing. Trashy places,
Yeah.
unkept places, people that really don't care, but they're doing a service to get paid. Like, that's what they're used to seeing. But when they walk into a home that is being run correctly, and that we can stand behind and say, yes, this is the ILF model, because it is definitely what we stand for. Cleanliness, making sure that we are not just throwing a whole bunch of different individuals in a home, but making sure that we're, making sure that we're setting people up for success, safety, cleanliness, everything that they need. So again, it's just, when I hear other people do what we do, and the results are exactly what we tell them the results will be, if they listen and they follow our directions, like it's endless. It's magical. It's just this it excites me every time I hear it. I'm lost for words, but it's just exciting.
I love it. And if you guys are on Clubhouse, you need to come over to YouTube, because that's where I've literally just turned Tiffany loose, guys, and she's literally coaching, right? I can literally just sit back, because when people like Tiffany and the Dornicos and the Neontas, they actually make us look like geniuses, right? But I tell you guys all the time, I'm no genius, man. God just showed us something that was real bad, and we just put our spin on it. And instead of hiding it from people the way people hid it from me, we chose to teach it.
Right.
And then when you all move at the speed of instruction and you make it work, first of all, God's behind it, so it should work anyway. But that's when you guys allow us to look like genius. So we appreciate that. I want to go over to Neonta, because Neonta, I always say this, man, her situation is a little bit different from all of us. Neonta does the same thing we do, but she only houses military veterans right now. Neonta, from our coaching, found a program that actually pays half of the rent for her clients. Neonta, let's pretend that you never spoke today. Reintroduce yourself, tell people who you are, where you're located, the name of your program. And again, how did you find that program that'll pay half of these guys' rent that you're housing? How did that happen?
So my name is Neonta St. Fort. My husband and I own and operate Saints Care LLC. By trade, we are both nurses, RN and LPN respectively. We're both military veterans. I did the masterclass with Forrester Consultants in June of 2022. In that class, they taught us to look for agencies, make calls to see what was available. My husband and I knew that we wanted to house military veterans or somebody that was going to assist with housing or paying for rent, should I say, assist with rent for whomever we housed. Because my husband's thing is he don't want to ask nobody for money. I, on the other hand, like, I don't care. I'll ask for my money. Let me get that. But his thing was he wanted to make sure we were going to have, some money coming in without having to worry about getting it from the people whom we were housing. And so, long story short, I ended up one morning about 3 o'clock in the morning, woke up clean out of my sleep, jumped on the internet and was looking for programs that housed veterans. And I found this one called Operation Sacred Trust and sent a text to that number. I must have fallen back to sleep. I got a phone call, or he must have called me while I was asleep or in the shower or something. I don't know. When I woke up, I looked at the phone. I was like, I missed a call, and I listened to the message. It was a guy named Alfonso from OST. Said he left his number. Give him a call. I called, and we talked about it. And he told me, listen, he's like, I said, well, I don't have a house yet, but I'm in the process of getting started. I just want to see what the need is. My husband and I are veterans. We want to house veterans. He said, well, I'll tell you what, when you get your house, we can fill your house for you. I have about 60 veterans right now on a list that need housing. So are you serious? Right. Exactly. And
He
I was
said, I
like,
can
wow,
feel your
okay.
house. Wow.
Right. And he said, and so he started to explain the program to me. He said, we actually pay first, last, and security. We assist the veterans with first, last, and security, and we pay half of their rent for them. I said, what? Wait, excuse me, what now? We pay half the rent for them directly to you. I said, oh, wow. Okay. And so, long story short, that relationship evolved into getting pretty much every veteran that I have to this day from them until they closed down in October. But prior to us, we had the house, we got everything set up. I think in November, early November, we had a meeting at their office, and where we took coffee and donuts and met
You
with
didn't
all of
you,
their case
you didn't get
managers.
fancy like Tiffany, huh? You
Yeah,
just
nah, I
did a
wasn't that
coffee
fancy. I wasn't
donuts
that
like me.
fancy. It was still hot here.
That goes Tiffany. Boy, take Tiffany to outdo us, ain't it?
So I took coffee and donuts. My husband and I, we had our PowerPoint set up, hooked up the computer to their big TV screen. We taught them who Saints Care was, what we offered, why we were going to be their best option. And initially, when we talked with them, they were actually the director. She was, a little hesitant because I told her the price, and she was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Yeah, this, we live in." And she was telling me typically what they pay. I said, "I understand." I said, "But I can assure you that the price that I'm giving you, those places that are giving you those lower prices aren't going to meet what we're going to meet." I said, "It's going to be a clean environment. They're going to be safe. We have security." Around the clock security that I can see the cameras. My husband and I pulled up our cameras and showed it to them on our phones. We could see what's going on inside the house, outside the house right
Wow.
now while we're
Wow,
here in Fort
that's wow.
Lauderdale. And so at the end of the day, they were very much impressed and started getting. Matter of fact, before we left there that day, I had a client that they wanted me to house.
Ooh.
He ended up not being a good fit for our program, but nonetheless, it just grew from there. The relationship. I did see in the chat somebody was asking about how did I get them to allow me to do it with leasing the house because they had a conversation, I guess, with VA. So I'll address that real quick. That actually did come up initially about not owning the house. They were like, "Oh, you have to own the house," and I said, "Well, I don't own the house. I am leasing it. However, in my lease, I have permission to sublet, and I can send you a copy of that lease." I didn't want to send up my lease, but I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I said on page, I sent them, I said, I'll send you the lease. And I told her what page, what line to look for, page 3, line 11. And in my initial lease, it literally said sublet to veterans. And so once they got that, there were no issues. And that particular agency actually has closed now. And so I'm working with 2, 3 other agencies now. And I had that same issue just last week, as a matter of fact, where I had to do the same thing. And I took the lease to her and said, page 3, line 11. And this is my second lease. It doesn't say veterans, but it does say, get permission to sublet. So you just want to make sure that you have that in your lease and that your landlords are aware. And then just let whomever you're speaking with at the VA or whatever agency it is, let them know, you have that permission, and it shouldn't be an issue from there.
And what I love about this, and Neonta, thank you so much. What I love about both of them speaking just now, notice how I didn't have to say anything and they was just giving y'all game. I hope you guys have a pencil, a pen, and maybe a legal pad, because literally a lot of the coaching that I'm giving them, they're spewing it out to you guys right now. See how we're kind of an open book as a family, right? Because there's a lot of that stuff that she could have kind of just kept to herself. She told y'all the name of the program. She told y'all the name of the guy. She told y'all that they pay for it. You showed me somebody that'll pay first, last, and security. Are you serious? Did you guys hear what she said? And by the way, and we don't have to talk about it right here, but Neonta's prices are really different from what we charge here in Orlando. And again, we ain't gonna even get into that right now, because the pricing of your beds is according to where you live at. So again, just a small commercial break, guys. Everything that you've heard so far, this is literally coming from the coaching from the ILF Mastery Blueprint, right? Which is usually a $15,000 coaching, a one-on-one coaching from us where you become family. Guys, that is 80% off right now. That is the cheat code to change your life and your family's life. We're in a position right now in this season where we can't afford to buy things that don't increase our life or our family. A lot of us, right? Not us in this room, right? Because I believe all of us are good people that's going to make great decisions. But a lot of people in this season are going to buy things, even on Black Friday and Cyber Tuesday and all of that stuff, but it's not going to advance their life. This right here can absolutely advance your life. You guys just heard from 2 people that just a year and a half ago, had no clue what this was. Right. But now they're almost teaching it to where I don't have to be here. I think that's pretty cool. And that's, again, man, and I love the route because both of them took different routes. Although both did the master class, Tiffany kind of became an ILF Mastery Blueprint member right away. In fact, when Tiffany became, it was called the Platinum Package. Neonta took the master class, stayed connected, and then later got the ILF Mastery Blueprint. So I just love it how they went different routes, but we all do the same thing now. And Neonta, give the people one more time, how many beds are in your facility, and are you full, or is there still beds left to fill?
So I can house up to 8. Right now, I actually just had I don't know what to call it, but one guy moved out, one moved to California, one I didn't renew his lease.
Okay.
And
personal choice.
One is in Colombia, the country. So he's actually probably coming back. So right now I have 3 beds available, only because I keep one bed open as an emergency bed, and in the event that I get somebody that may need a bed that can't afford, and they're a really good fit, and I think they're going to fit the house perfectly. That way we can
That's your charity
house
bed.
them.
So typically we would call that a charity bed. Shay has one.
Sounds like Shay.
I have one. And our charity bed is literally kind of catered to our church.
Yeah.
So here's some more free game, right? I promised God that in the beginning, I said, God, if you make this work for me, I said, man, I'm going to house somebody for free sometimes. I said, somebody you going to send me, God, that ain't able to pay it. They ain't going to have all the money. It's going to be some kind of circumstance. And I say, God, don't let me guide it, but I would love to work with my church. I say, God, I would love it because all the needs go to the church anyway. So just a small gym in between the gym is when you do start this or start advertising it, the first set of people that should know about this is your local church. Christy, you asked a lot of great questions. I'm finna hit all of them. But one of them, Christy, your church need to know about this today, Christy. Christy, you asked, when is it too late or too soon to start talking about it and advertising it? Today. When we leave this live, you should tell your church tomorrow what this is and that you do it. Because first of all, you're going to speak in faith and call these things that are not as though they were. Okay. And the so many questions part, no problem. We love questions. And the first step, Christy, if you haven't, is to watch our free webinar. So my team will put that into the chat. Is also at forsterconsultants.com. Click that tab that says webinar, and bam, both the ILF and the HRA webinar are there for absolutely free. Yeah. Then I give you a free strategy call. Then we come here 3 days a week for free. Christy, you can't beat us nowhere. Like, right? We're hard to beat, Christy, and we're everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Forston Consultants, this is what we do. So one more time, thank you, Neonta. Thank you, Tiffany. I really appreciate it because I think this allows other people to see what the coaching looks like and how you guys can literally do this live without me even being here. But I want to make sure that I'm continuing my promise because in the beginning, I said I got 2 goals, right? The first goal is to give y'all game, and then the next goal is to give you an opportunity to be a part of it. These are usually 90-minute rooms. So if that stands true today, we probably got about 14 minutes before we're out of here. But I don't want to leave you all without answering all the questions that are in the chat. And then I got a few things that I want to continue to share. And then again, I want to give everybody opportunity to get into this, especially while this crazy Black Friday birthday sale is going on. Shay?
Your big brother's in the room, man.
We got him in?
I got him in.
All right, let's do it. Let's go to my big brother. I'm going to let Otis introduce himself. Otis, you can just kind of jump in anywhere, bro. We've kind of just been talking today. The topic is unlocking wealth and changing lives at the same time.
2 seconds before y'all even start. I've got 2 guests in Clubhouse that I really would like for them to come on over to YouTube. So that's Pastor Brown and Mom Forston. Use that link at the top of your page. Come on over. We are having some live conversations in person, in the flesh, over here on YouTube and Facebook. So go ahead and click those links. Come on over here. What all of our guests on the platform in the studio are sharing as they are sharing a whole wealth of knowledge. Derek, back to you.
Absolutely. So also I'm going to give you guys a text message to kind of, because somebody just asked, where's the masterclass recording? That's something that we actually don't even really offer a lot. I just feel real good today. And also during this Black Friday sale. So the masterclass recording, as well as our MSI group coaching recordings, that's something that we're also going to be offering. So I'm going to give you guys a phone number. We'll also put it into the chat, and then you will literally kind of put what you want in there, right? So 407-813-1335, and just put masterclass recording if that's what you want. If you want that ILF Mastery Blueprint, that's already ready to go. That's all over our social media. Shay's got it at the bottom of this screen that's kind of going across the bottom. The promo code is OFF80. And again, guys, our one-on-one coaching that involves several, probably over 10 different bonuses is on an 80% sale, guys. So that big old ticket that's usually next to it, take 80% off of that. And the really cool thing is these last few weeks, we've actually been allowing people to join in together. So if you meet somebody or you got a partner, and you say, Derek, I want to take that sale, but I want to split the cost between me and my business partner. No problem. We also allow that as well. And also, if you want to know what's all involved in that ILF Mastery Blueprint, definitely consider visiting forsterconsultants.com, and all the information that you need will be there. So I'm going to give it over to my big brother, Mr. Otis, aka the guinea pig, and then we'll answer any other questions that you guys have. Mr. Otis, introduce yourself, bro. Tell them why I call you the guinea pig and go anywhere you like with it.
Good morning. Happy to be here. How I got the name the guinea pig is I was the one that all this was kind of tested on. So I was the one that that Derek came to, told me what was going on. And he always said that, if I can teach this to somebody, and he, I guess his rationale was there was no consequences with teaching it to me.
Exactly.
if it didn't work, right? But glory be to God, it did work. It worked well. So I'm also a type of individual that I don't need a lot of pride if I believe in it. let's get going. I don't mind taking losses, and I don't mind winning either. I understand in business that going in is what you put into it. It's a 50 thing, right? And I'm gonna do my part. So I'm not one of these type of people that's looking to blame somebody if it don't go my way. Okay, so if I see an opportunity and it sounds good, feels good, let's go. Right? We're not gonna spend 3 days talking about it. We're gonna get in the deep end, and we're gonna go. And then if it works, great. If it don't work, I'm not looking to blame anybody either. Right? So I'm not that guy. Right? And so that's how I got the name the guinea pig. I was the one that this was tried on first. Right? I was the one that they threw me in the deep end, and you either sink or swim, bro. Right? And that's kind of what it was, and glory, luckily, not even luckily, but glory to be to God that it worked. Um, it worked, guys. I mean, I ended up with at one time I had over 10 ILFs. I have a full-time job. And so it really was a thing that it was overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect it to really take off as fast as it did. Right? You thinking that you got to build it, which you do, but the community was so hungry for it, you know. And then the presentation I was giving them, they thought had been doing this forever, and I hadn't.
Exactly.
They thought you was a genius. It's
You
like, this
know what I'm
worked.
saying? And so, but they were so hungry for it. They were so hungry for the model. Um, they couldn't really believe that we were giving access to these homes to people that were homeless, right? And we're not putting them in, junk. We're spending money, um, dignity and all of that behind it. Plus, my team, my mom, she's not going to allow a lot of that foolishness, right? Especially for me, because I be a little quarter slick sometimes, right? And that's when she gonna come to me. Just give me the credit card. Just give me your credit card, because you ain't gonna do right, older junior. Just give me the credit card, and and so she keep us in line, and things of that nature. But it's a beautiful thing, guys. Don't get me wrong. Is it challenging? Absolutely. You're dealing with people. You're managing people, but it's so rewarding. So at the end of the day, that's how I got the name, the guinea pig. I was the first one that Derek tried this on, really.
Yeah.
And a lot of that had to do with because there was no consequences trying it with me, right? Well, nobody gonna come looking for him to bust his head. Well, nobody gonna bash him and nothing like that. I mean, it was me, right? And so, but luckily, man, I, I was it was a success for me, like right away, right? I mean, I had some challenges. Don't get me wrong. Things happened that I didn't expect. One of the most traumatic things that happened was my first resident died on me, right in the house, right, Miss Kim, and it threw me. It really did. It really threw me. She was a sweet lady. Um, she was living in the shelter. She had came from Panama City. When that hurricane came through, she lost everything. And so her family, I didn't hear from her family until she died. Now they're looking for her belongings. They're looking for her check, things of that nature, right? But God really blessed me because I feel like I honored her legacy. I did the right thing. And boy, I tell you, and this is the honest God truth. When I finished handling that situation with Miss Kim, right, and the way it went down, the floodgates opened up, right, for me.
And what does that mean, Otis?
That means like every house that I opened, it was full before I even opened it. So moving day, when I moved people in, people was amazed. Like, man, how your house full? And you just opened yesterday. The house was already full. Right? God really took care of me, man, in that situation. I believe it had a lot to do with how we took care of Miss Kim.
Absolutely.
Like how we handled her in her last days. Um, keep in mind, guys, I never got paid for Miss Kim. Right? I never got paid for her stay. Me and Miss Kim had an agreement. And the agreement was gonna be, I knew she had the checks. Everything got stopped at Social Security because she didn't have ID. She lost everything in the hurricane. So once all that got cleared up, which it did, the checks and everything came in the mail really like 2 days after she died. Right? And now that's when her family came around. And then this is when I didn't even know she had like brothers and sisters like that. Right? But I didn't fuss about it because I knew in my heart that Miss Kim would have took care of me. I knew she would.
Absolutely.
But it was a situation where, you know how it can be sometimes. But God took care of me. And then, so what happened with that was every time I would get a house, it would be full before I get the keys. And I strictly believe.
Wait, hold it, Otis. Now, I know what that means because I'm in this, but somebody that's listening on YouTube or LinkedIn may be like, well, what does he mean full before I get keys? How is that possible? So explain that, Otis.
Right. So a lot of times when you out and you scavenging for a home or, get into agreements for these homes, you don't get them right away. A lot of times they got to, make some repairs. They got to, paint this and do that. Right. But, I was in a situation where, man, I would get these houses, man. And I mean, I'm talking about before they would be, I would already have everything full. So when it's time to, when I get the keys, I'm not looking for residents.
So it sounds like you had a waiting list, Otis. Is that what we're talking about here?
I did have a waiting list.
Exactly. Okay.
I had a waiting list. And so what that means, Stu, is that this is when people call and you basically tell them, man, hey, I got a house getting ready to come open in the next 30 days, 15 days, whatever it may be. Right. And I can put you on this list. Now you can actually, you want to secure your spot? No problem. Pay your deposit. They'll secure your location.
Right.
And so this was happening for me. And I really believe, man, it had a lot to do with the way I handled that Miss Kim situation. And it's been like that ever since. Like God has really honored that. You know what I mean? And so, I tell people all the time in this space here, just do the right thing. And it's gonna be so many opportunities to not to do the right thing.
It will be.
It's gonna be so easy sometimes. The devil's gonna make it look so easy, man, and showing you right on your shoulder, and because a lot of these people, man, are already on the fringes of life. You can pull wool over their eyes and they won't even know it. But somebody, God will, right? And so you
Wow,
can take
good.
advantage. You can take advantage of, just do the right thing.
Absolutely.
And so and guys, sometimes doing the right thing is not always advantageous for you, right? So, but you still got to do the right thing, right?
Love it.
And for times like this, just hard, sometimes hard, dog. You know what I mean? Because you feel like you need it. But what you don't need to break your promise to God.
Mm.
You don't need to take advantage of people that's been taken advantage of their whole life, even though they did some foul stuff. That's between them and that's between them and they God, right? But just do the right thing, because there's going to be so many opportunities to not. And one thing I found out in this business too, when they don't do the right thing, ain't nobody gonna come to bat for you now. Right? You gotta figure it out. Right? But you know, if you made a promise, keep your promise. Um and I truly believe the success that I've had, the success that I'm going to continue to have, is going to be based on my integrity. It's going to be based on not chasing money, and just not overlooking people, man. Right? Don't get greedy. Right? Don't get greedy, man. You know what I mean? Understand that what you're doing is a good thing, and I just feel like if you just do the right thing, not saying think challenges are not gonna happen, but
Right.
it's gonna work. But it's gonna work itself out. You know what I mean? Don't get caught up in that line and stealing, because one thing about that stuff there, you're gonna get so far down the road, you ain't gonna know how to turn around.
Mm.
You
Wow,
feel me?
that's good.
Right. Yeah.
That's
That's
good.
so good.
You feel me? It ain't. Oh,
Wow.
I'm gonna do this one time. You know what I mean? I just need this little lick. You know,
Mhm.
then it goes so smooth. Well, one more time, call. They played me. They did this to me. You'll find
Justifying
reasons.
it now.
Yeah, you'll find reasons to steal. You
Yeah.
know, you'll find reasons to mistreat. But don't even
Uh-huh.
get in that, because I'm gonna tell you, I done been there. I'm not talking about something I heard. I'm talking about, man, something I done. How did I get here? To the point where I don't even know right from wrong. I don't even know how to turn around. You know, I know right from wrong, but I don't know how to turn around.
Mm.
So I done got so far down the road, man, I don't even know how to turn around, man.
Mm.
And so don't even start that. You know, don't even start it. That's why sometimes you have to revisit the reason you doing this.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you guys, every so often throughout the year, you gotta revisit my why,
Yeah.
right? You gotta revisit those things, because you know we all said that now. If we take care of God's people, He gonna take care of us. So where did we lose that at? We got too spoiled, man. The money was coming too fast. It's coming
Yo.
too easy, right?
Yep.
And so, like I say, man, always you gotta have people that also that you trust, that's gonna hold you accountable, man. That person that you can talk to and say, man, bro, man, let me tell you what I did, man. I know if I tell my brother some stuff that I did, he gonna spank me, but it ain't gonna be. It's gonna be in love, man.
Yo.
He gonna chastise me,
Yo.
right? And he gonna course correct me,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And so you gotta have people in your life that course corrects you sometimes. But it's gonna put you on that correction plan, right? And so Money. One thing about money, it's a funny thing, especially when you ain't got none.
Mm.
And a lot of us, we're experiencing money for the first time in an overflow.
Yeah.
Right? We got just enough. Most of the time in our lives we have just enough.
Yep.
But this business will allow you to experience money and blessings in an overflow. Right? And then, boy, I'm gonna tell you something. You may say what you would do when you get it. You don't know.
It's the difference when you do get it.
That's the truth.
You have no idea, dog. You tough. It's easy to say, man, I ain't on that. Yeah, cause you ain't got it to be on. Right? But boy, look here. Let that money start coming in. And
Fast.
it's a overflow. And I'm talking about, y'all know, some of y'all here know what I'm talking about. Y'all done experienced it.
Give them an example, Otis, cuz again, when you say that, all of the ILF people, we know what you mean, bro. Pretend you're speaking to somebody that hasn't experienced a lot of money coming to them fast, and it's coming from this thing that you always wanted to do. Remember, bro, you got to remember, right?
And that could be any business too, though.
Right. People haven't experienced getting a 4-bed, 2-bath home and getting 8 different rents from 8 people. So dive a little bit deeper into how that money comes in and what you're talking about there.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's one of those things where a lot of us, man, I mean, I'm not speaking for everybody because I don't know everybody's situation. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of us are coming from poverty situations. I mean, we eat, lights on, but we never had more than enough.
Yeah.
Right? We had just enough to stay in the house, keep the lights on. Right? But we never had overflow. We sang about it in church. We talk about it, but we ain't never had it. Boy, when you get it, it's a game changer. You feel me? And that overflow come in and I'm gonna tell you the truth, guys. I'm just be frank with you. Some of you gonna get into this, and this is gonna be the first time in your life where you have more than enough. You don't know what that's gonna do to you. It's gonna do something though.
Yeah.
Where you got more than enough. You can go buy what you want. You can eat what you want. You can actually plan trips. Man, listen, man. Some of us on a daily basis or a monthly basis worry about bills. What happens when you get into something and you turn around and like, man, I don't even really worry about how I'm gonna pay my light bill or my rent no more. Like, those are not problems. And so that's an amazing feeling. But you also have to be careful, right? You have to also manage that. And one thing about managing that, it's one thing to say, I'm gonna do the right thing. But guys, sometimes that takes, I'm gonna say training, but it takes a certain level of patience, respect,
And
and when
maturity.
mature, there you go. And when it happens, oh my God, feeling it. You don't worry about your bills. Some of us worry about our bills monthly, robbing Peter to pay Paul.
And a lot of us ready to end that.
Yeah.
And so when you see that opportunity, and actually when you begin to experience it, so I done paid all my bills, and I actually got some extra. I never had extra, right?
In Jesus'
And
name.
so, guys, it's just one of those things where that's when the devil enters. That's you you'll do things that you never thought you would do. when money gets involved in the manipulation, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. So we have to be careful. Um, but I'm telling you, man, sometimes, and this is why it's important to have accountability partners and people that you can trust
Yeah.
and talk to
And great
about
coaching.
stuff like this. Because guys, I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna rain too now. So what's
On the
gonna happen when
just
it
and
And
the
the
rains?
unjust.
unjust.
That's it.
Right? It's gonna rain too now.
Mm.
But when you've been in a poverty situation so long, I remember a business that I had, and it was one of the first businesses that I had that really, really did well. I built it from the ground. I was so proud of it. Um, it was one of those things, guys, I thought would last forever.
Mm.
And it probably would have if I had managed it right. Right? And I didn't. Just because I thought it would last forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it would have. If I had did the right thing. I got too spotty. And so sometimes that's what we do. We get a little too spotty. We think it's gonna always be sunny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not. We gotta prepare for the rain.
You have to.
Just like you prepare for the harvest, you gotta prepare for
Mhm.
the rain too.
The drought, the rain,
Uh,
you've got to prepare for all aspects. And that Otis is so important. And that's why we've reconfigured the ILF Mastery Blueprint so that it's not only surrounding individuals that come into the ILF space with that same accountability that you, Nianta, Tiffany, like that we all have, but it also positions us with the right accounting, with having those support systems, those support structures. A lot of people want to teach the shared housing model or independent. They're utilizing a phrase that they should not be, but ILF, which is coined and registered under Forston Consultants. Thank you, trademark. But you want to surround yourself with people that will hold you accountable and make sure that you're positioned and ready to embrace those times when they come. So when the hard times come, when it's famine and when it's plentiful, you've got to be prepared. So if you're out here doing this and you're not paying attention to what comes along with it, the song "More Money, More Problems" it's not bad problems, but there are things that will throw you off guard if you're not prepared and can cause you to go down a rabbit hole of a lot of issues if you do not surround yourself with the right people. Go ahead, Otis.
just unnecessarily,
Yeah.
right? Because it's I'm tell you guys, it's exciting. When you ain't have to, when you worry about bills every month and you don't have to no more, that's exciting.
Yeah.
It is.
When you can go buy that dress or them shoes, that's exciting, and it don't hurt,
Mhm.
right? We just have to be careful, and we also have to realize what we're doing is for the right reasons. Don't get me wrong, treat yourself, right?
Yeah.
You should, right? But let's just be smart with it. Let's remember why we're doing this. And just my whole thing is I just want to treat people right. Right? Not saying I'm going to get it right all the time, but if my
Right.
heart is pure and I'm trying to do the right thing, man, God's going to honor that.
Yeah.
Right? I just don't want to be out here mistreating people, man. You know what I mean?
Good stuff.
And guys, keep in mind, some people going to claim you mistreating them, and you're not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
come
we
with
get
the
that.
territory. It come with
Yeah.
territory. But all right.
Yeah.
And so, that's the whole guinea pig situation. Um, my whole thing, just this is a beautiful situation to be in. Um, take your time. Don't be greedy. Uh, slowly but surely build it. Things like that. Because the thing about it is, people need you, right? But as soon as they feel like you a fraud, they're gonna walk away from you and they're gonna tell everybody else too.
Absolutely. They sure will.
I land my plane up.
Wow.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. I love it. Mr. Keep It Real Otis.
That's it. That's his new nickname.
So again, man, thank y'all so much. We really appreciate you guys being here. And hopefully we were able to do what my goal is. So although I do want to pinpoint a few more things before we go, again, guys, I told you guys I had two goals, right? I want to make sure that we came and gave y'all game and then gave y'all an opportunity. The other thing that I promised that I would answer all of the questions that were in the chat. So lucky for me, I kind of put them all into one, all the ones that we didn't get. So I'm going to just kind of go through those. I'm also going to give a brief recap of anybody that possibly just came in. We're going to bless y'all and get y'all out of here. But again, I just want to say thank you one more time for you guys allowing us to share what we truly believe is the most powerful real estate play that is alive right now. And that's that whole shared living model where we're taking people from homeless to hopeful, regardless of their background, right? And we're serving a population that receives a guaranteed income. So again, there was a question in the chat that says, should I go nonprofit or LLC? First of all, I want to tell you that a part of the ILF Mastery Blueprint, we've never done this before, right? But we literally put my accountant inside of it. So my accountant is going to help you decide whether LLC or nonprofit is best for you. I'll give you a quick snippet, then we'll move on. I chose nonprofit. I chose LLC for profit. Because I was afraid of the nonprofit. I thought it cost too much. It would take too much to build the board and the books and have meetings. And guys, I was just afraid of it. I didn't understand it. Also, for me, it was more affordable and it was fast. Whereas the nonprofit, depending on what your goal is, and that's what Lynette, my accountant, I help you with, decide that. So nonprofit versus LLC is actually personal preference. But depending on what the goal that you have, my accountant, which would be your accountant up to 6 months, she'll help you decide that. Somebody said, should I go ALF or ILF? We gave the example of how Francesca, which is somebody that we also taught this to from Dawson Solutions, she started several ILFs. Correct. And then eventually got her a licensed group home, which is under the APD umbrella, Agencies for Persons with Disabilities. So again, our way that we tell people, guys, you can start an ILF tomorrow. An ALF, that takes time. And you got to get licensures and you got to hire staff. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. I'll never say that I won't have one. But my goal is these ILFs, guys. I love it. It's fast. It's scalable. And I don't have to ask for a bunch of permission. So that's my thoughts on the ALF or ILF. Somebody else asks, how soon should I start advertising to hospitals? Right now, today. Today, immediately. Because the more they know about what you do, the faster that your program can get up off the ground. A lot of that's involved in our coaching to tell you how to do it. So definitely consider our coaching, the one-on-one coaching, that's 80% off right now, right? And then the last one says, for the open house, should I do a weekend or weekday? I'm actually let Tiffany answer that, and then I'm going to begin to wrap things up. Tiffany, when you did your open house, what day was it on? And in your opinion, should it be on the weekend or weekday, and why?
We did it on a weekday. I want to say it was a Wednesday or Thursday, but I'm not totally sure about that. But yeah, I think it was a Wednesday. But my thought around that was the target audience that I was trying to capture, and they are at work Monday through Friday, and so it made it very smart in my sense to say, hey, let me not put them out and make them have to come in on a weekend when they're at home with their families or doing other leisure things. So I say whatever audience you're targeting, I would say use that to your advantage of when they work and when they don't work, and then place your open house. And you can have more than one open house. I only had to have one, but you can have more than one and have different groups of people come over to that house at that period of time. So that's kind of how I decided which day of the week to do it.
Okay, I love it. And just my personal opinion is that probably during the week is, I don't know. I'm going to give two reasons why I think both could work. During the week gives the case managers and social workers an excuse to come see your place. Because if you're a case manager or a social worker, which I used to be, and if I told my boss, hey, boss, there's an open house for a brand new housing opportunity for us to send our clients to, it'll only take me an hour to go check her out. My boss would love that. So it gives the social workers and case managers to leave their job to come and see your housing program to help each other. Because remember, as a housing provider, both of you guys win. You want the clients and the residents, and they got a job to do by discharging these people. The weekend could work because everybody's off and you got free time and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
But you also have to think about the person that once they knock off, they don't want to think about work.
Yeah.
So it's a catch-22. I say if you can have more than one open house, do it.
Yeah.
Do one during the week and do one on the weekend.
And also the time of the month is very important. Like right now, our social media is getting ready to go through the roof because every month around the 25th is when we get more aggressive with the phone calls, the cold calling, the social media. Because guess why? The clients that we serve are getting ready to be paid on the 1st and the 3rd. I say that again. The majority of the clients that we house, they get paid on the 1st and the 3rd. So we're doing a lot of social media, a lot of cold calling. And guys, remember, I don't do any of that anymore. Our virtual assistants do that for us for $4 an hour. That's the cheat code to everything we talked about today. Okay. So again, this time of the month. So if you guys are HRAs, housing referral agencies, or if you're an ILF operator, Monday morning, you guys should hit the ground running because a lot of people are preparing for their next move. In fact, we're getting 2 people from another, I'll call it a group home, probably in about the next 4 days. They heard about us through this new guy that we got. He said, man, we're in a nice place. It's clean. And this guy look like he really care about us. Not like this old place that we came from. So we're literally plucking 2 other people from different other housing programs because they heard about how great we are.
Okay.
Right? So relocating is probably a better word. And again, I had nothing to do with it. It was word of mouth, which is the best form of advertisement. Right. We moved in somebody. He bragged about it to the old place he was at. 2 more of the people want to come after I assess them. Remember, we won't just take anybody. After we done that assessment, we're making a decision to bring them in. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to ask any of my other moderators if they have any lasting words, because I do want to wrap up and promise what I did, because I told you I want to give game and I want to give the opportunity. In fact, I'll do that now. So the opportunity, guys, is the HRA that you heard us talk about. Guys, that product is normally $2,000, originally $4,700. But with this Black Friday sale, it's 80% off, guys. I think that's like $399. It's a crazy low price, and we give you the curriculum, the course, the ebook, and we give you a complimentary virtual assistant. Only thing that you're responsible for is actually paying for the VA by the hour and the software that you need to manage the VA, your HR equipment per se, right? So for less than the cost of the actual VA, for only $399, I think it is like 40 cents. Guys, it's a no-brainer. That means that you can do what we do, but you don't need the real estate. Right. You need the relationship. So we teach you how to be a housing referral agency. And if you've never seen the free webinar, definitely check it out at forstonconsultants.com. Click the tab that says webinar, and both of the webinars are there for the HRA and the ILF operator. The other way I want to give you guys an opportunity to join in is the ILF Mastery Blueprint. Also 80% off, guys. Usually that's a $15,000 coaching program that you're tied into basically forever. Guys, that brings that down to like $3,000. And remember, if 2 of y'all in this room want to go in together, no problem. We do that as well, okay? So ILF Mastery Blueprint, 80% off. And the HRA Business in a Box, 80% off, ladies and gentlemen. And today I do believe is the last day. If my team tell me that I'm wrong about that, they'll let me know. But all day today, so talk to your family, your friends, your business partners. Watch the webinar with them. And then again, you guys are welcome to a free strategy call. So Miss Christie or anybody that was wondering what is the next steps, the first step, guys, is the ILF webinar or the HRA webinar. Step 2 is that free strategy call. Step 3 is tap into this amazing sale and don't miss it. We also offer financing. If somebody can put that into the chat, we have third-party financing. We also have payment plans. So there's a lot of ways for you guys to be able to get into this. And again, forstonconsultants.com is where you want to go for all of your coaching needs. If you need a virtual assistant, that's www.va101.co. Not .com, but va101.co. So, guys, if I delivered what I said, I would appreciate that if you guys could put some hearts in the chat. I would appreciate a subscribe. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And again, if I've done what I said, guys, put some hearts in the chat, because again, my goal was to come and give game and then give an opportunity for you all to tap into it. We're also here 3 days a week, ladies and gentlemen. So we're here Monday and Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And we're also here every Saturday at 10 a.m. live, to where you guys can bring your questions and your concerns. You tomorrow should be telling your church, your pastor, your bishop, and all your family members, say, girl, I got something. Uncle Joe, I got something. The Forston family showed us how we can go out and rent a house, build relationships with social workers and case managers to fill the house, and we make an impact and an income. So I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you on your free strategy call. My name is Derek Forston. I approve this entire message. I'm going to tap over to my team to make sure that everybody's good there. They may want to leave you guys with some words of encouragement. But again, thank y'all so much for being here. I super appreciate it. And I hope you guys learned a lot. Miss Shay?
Hey, so I do have one thing that I do want to share. I implore you, all of you, anyone that has any type of business. We heard Otis speak so passionately about some things, and I want you all to do this as we're approaching the holiday season. Christmas is coming up. I want you to invest in yourself. I want you to go to Etsy or one of these platforms, and for our ILF Mastery Blueprint people and our family, I'm actually going to put a link in our personal private communities so that you all can do this as well. So I'm challenging you all to go out there, get something that's memorable, and put your why on it and place it somewhere that you're going to pass every day. Whether it's a photo frame with your why in it. If you want to get something specialized for yourself, and place it somewhere that you have to walk past it every day. Because if you can see it in front of yourself, it'll help you to remind yourself of what you're doing and why you're doing it. What we want you to do is to keep the vision. It says, write the vision, make it plain, right? So that he that read it can run with it. And the goal is that you will continue to read it and run with it. And every day that you move forward in this venture, whether it's the ILF, whether it's any other business that you're doing, you have that memorial that you will pass by every day to put that memory back in your mind, even on the tough days, the easy days, the days where you're on the mountaintop, the days when you're in the valley. You can always go back to that memorial, that plot of land, that place in your house that has that reminder of, this is why I am doing this said thing. So I implore you, get something decorative, get something that you may write. Just do it. I don't care how you do it, but do it. There's so many ways that you can dress these things up, but I want you to make a sacrifice and bless yourself this year. Bless yourself for Christmas. Provide yourself with a memorial, a plot, a place that is a place that of remembrance, that reminds you of what God is using you for in this season and what he is going to do through you by that commitment that you made by your why. That is a commitment. Derek already told you his commitment. Lord, if you make it work for me, Lord, if you make this work for me, I will tell everybody that it is only by your grace that this is so. So that is what we do every day, every time we open up our mouths. So I want you all to do the same so that you can continue to strengthen yourself and be mindful of what you're doing and how you do it. And that's it. I land. That's all I got.
All right, good stuff. Mr. Otis, you want to leave the people with anything, big bro? I just got a notification. I got 8 minutes on my battery, so this is a great time to end it. Otis, you have anything, big bro?
And Otis, if you are speaking, just check, because I had muted you earlier.
All right, cool. So thank y'all so much. We appreciate it. We encourage everybody to visit forstonconsultants.com. Definitely. Also, and we gave the advice for if you were interested in that masterclass replay. type to that 407-813-1335 and just type masterclass. And then Shay told you all also that if you wanted our one-on-one coaching at 80% off, you're going to use that same number, but text I want in. And they will literally send you all the information that you need to tap into that as well. So again, 407-813-1335. Type I want in if you're ready to get started. And don't forget, guys, we offer a third-party financing that there's no impact to your credit just to see even what you would be approved for. So that's also in the chat. Make sure you guys click that. Doesn't impact your credit at all. So we tell everybody to do that, right? Leverage other people's money to get your dream started. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much. Y'all go somewhere tomorrow to the house of worship. Tell God about this meeting today. He saw it, but still tell him anyway. Say, God, I was on this YouTube and they talking about housing your people. And God, I want to be a part of that. So open up every door of opportunity for me to do so, God. But God, also close every door that you don't want me to be walking into. So again, that's my prayer for everybody, that God is healing each and every one of you from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Each and every one of you guys, you are healed, delivered, and set free. And there is nothing wrong with your physical body or your mental health. We are all in great health in Jesus' name. The devil is under our feet and has no place in your life, your business, or your family. You guys go and be blessed, and we'll see y'all Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern live. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to his power that worketh in us. Amen. You guys be great, and we'll see y'all Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern.
See you on Monday.